All right, you guys, welcome back. We're talking lesson 52 today in the Saxon 8-7 book. Today we're going to be talking about order of operations, and you may have heard this in the past as "please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." That's a good guideline, but I want to actually talk about what those mean. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So previously you knew this as parentheses. I always mess this up. Parentheses, and then there we go, and then exponents, and then multiplication and division, left to right. And guys, if you're in my class, you need to be writing this down in your notes. And then addition and subtraction, left to right. Okay, so actually now this is a good guideline, but I actually think it's a little bit easier if we do it this way. First step, you're going to do your powers and roots. You're going to simplify those. Simplify your powers and your roots. Number 2 is going to be multiplying and dividing. Multiply and divide left to right. Left to right. Then you're going to add and subtract left to right. Now you'll see it's very similar to what we have up here, the "please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," but with parentheses, that's actually like a implied grouping. So I hate to say parentheses because parentheses can mean a bunch of different things. If you have like -7 plus -3, something like that just indicates that it's protecting the negative. Those parentheses just say that they're protecting the negative. Or sometimes parentheses can mean multiplication. You have negative, if you have something like -7 times -3, that's just indicating multiplication. So parentheses can mean a whole bunch of different things. Okay, so that's why we say do your powers and your roots. All right, so let's start with example number 1. 2 plus 4 times 3 minus 4 divided by 2. You always write the entire problem down, okay? Now we're gonna do, we don't have any powers and roots, so we're gonna do our multiplication and division in order left to right. Do this guy, and then this one. So now we have 2 plus 4 times 3 is 12, minus 4 divided by 2, which is gonna be 2, okay? So now we have 14 minus 2, which equals 12. 14 minus 2, which equals 12. Example number 2. All right, this one's gonna get a little bit more tricky. All right, we're gonna need to simplify everything upstairs first. Remember, powers and roots first. So straight off the bat, we have 3 squared, which we know is 9. So 9 plus, at the same time, we can do this multiplication. 15 divided by 2. 9 plus 15 is gonna be 24 divided by 2, which gives me 12. So that reduces down to 12. Okay, example number 3. Evaluate A plus AB if A equals 3 and B equals 4. So for A, it's going to be, we're going to plug this in, 3 plus, and A is 3, and then AB here, we're doing multiplication, so we need to multiply. Times B, which is to the 4th. Okay, now we take 3 plus 12, which equals 15. So that's going to be 15. All right, let's do another one, evaluating. Example number 4. Evaluate x, y minus x over 2 if x equals 9 and y equals 2 over 3. Okay, so now we have 9 times y, which is 2/3, 2 over 3. And in fact, since y is going to be 2/3 a fraction, I'm going to make 9 a fraction too. So 9 over 1 times 2 over 3. Let me turn this down just a bit. I think it'll make it easier. Okay, so, sorry, just lean right in there. All right. So we've got these two things because we're multiplying, right? So I use parentheses for multiply. You can use a dot if you want. Minus x, which is 9 over 2. Okay, well, so our next step here is we're going to multiply first. So 9, and we can cross cancel first. Get rid of this, I get 1. Get rid of this, I get 3. Divide by 3, I get 1. Divide by 9, or divide by 3, I get 3. So now what I have is 6 over 1 minus 9 over 2. But when I'm adding and subtracting fractions, I need a common denominator. So I'm going to multiply this guy by 2 and this by 2. Now I end up with 12 over 2 minus 9 over 2, which equals 3 over 2. 3 over 2. Okay, and then if we want to put that into an improper fraction form, 2 goes into 3 one time with a remainder of 1. Okay, so your practice problems are on page 319 right here. A through G. So what I want you to do is make sure that you've got those done. All right, so pause the video if you need to, and then come on back, make sure you got it right. A, we have 5 plus 5 times 5 minus 5 divided by 5. All right, so we're going to do our is that a multiplication? I can't even read my own handwriting, y'all. It's terrible. Let me fix that. All right, so again, we do multiplication and division first. We're going to do this and this. So we end up with 5 plus 25 minus 5 divided by 5 just gives me 1. Now we do our addition subtraction in order. So we've got this guy here. We have 30 minus 1, which equals 29. All right, let's look at B. 50 minus 8 times 5 plus 6 divided by 3. All right, so for this guy, we're going to do our multiplication and our division. So 50 minus 8 times 5, which will give me 40, plus 6 divided by 3, which will give me 2. 50 minus 40 gives me 10, plus 2, that equals 12. So this simplifies down to 12. All right, so for C, 24, you must be copying these problems down. Do not do this in your head. All right, so we're going to do multiplication and division first. We have to do this multiplication before we can do this division here. So I'm only going to underline the multiplication. So 24 minus 8 minus 12 divided by 4. Okay? So now we're going to do this guy right here. So 24 minus 8 minus 12 divided by 4, which is 3. So 24 minus 8, that's going to give me 16 minus 3. That's going to give me 13. I have something on my nose that's itching. You can see my nose is all red. Oh, it's like a hair or something. Blah. All right, so D. Yeah, my nose is really red now. 2/3 plus 3 halves plus 2 times 5, all divided by 3. All right, so we want to do our roots first, right? So 2 to the 3rd power is 2 times 2, which is 4, times 2, which is 8. So this is all going to equal 8 plus 3 to the 2nd power is 3 times 3, which is 9, plus 2 times 5, all divided by 3, which equals. So the next part that I want to do is that multiplication right here. So I'm going to bring everything else down around it. Plus 10, all divided by 3. Now, 8 plus 9 plus 10. So that's going to be 19. So 27 divided by 3, which equals 9. So that simplifies down to be 9. All right, so then the next one is E. A, B, minus B, C. So A equals 5, B equals 3, C equals 4. All right, so A is going to go here, and now AB here, oops, sorry, AB here, we're multiplying, right? So 5 times 3 minus 3 times C, which is 4. All right, so we want to do our multiplication first. We have 15 minus 12, which equals 3. 15 minus 12, which equals 3. All right, so for F, we have AB plus A over C. A equals 6, B equals 4, and C equals. So I cut my bangs right before I did this. And there's little like tiny hairs everywhere. And so that's why I keep scratching. Was not a good decision on my part. Okay, so A is 6, so we're gonna do 6 times B, which is 4, plus A, which is 6, C, which is 2. All right, looking at that problem, we can simplify that down. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 6 divided by 2 is 3. So that's going to give me 27. G, x minus xy, if x equals 2/3, y equals 3/4. Okay, so right here we're going to do x, which is 2 over 3 minus, now x is 2 over 3 again, times y, which is 3 over 4. All right, so you know what? I'm going to rewrite that with bigger so that you can see it a little bit better. So again, x is 2 over 3. And then 2 over 3 times 3 over 4. Okay, so as I rewrite that, now we want to do the multiplication first, not this subtraction bit, okay? So if we do that multiplication, these guys cancel out, and I can divide this by 2 and get 1, divide this by 2, I get 2. So that's going to equal 2 over 3 minus 1/2. But when we're adding and subtracting fractions, we need a common denominator. So multiply by 2, multiply by 2, multiply by 3, multiply by 3. So we end up with 4 over, I guess it doesn't matter, 4 and 6 minus 3 over 6, which equals 1 over 6. All right, that was for G. All right, guys, if you have any questions, let me know, but it is vitally important that this is how your paper looks. Do you see how I have all my notes and everything? This is how your paper needs to look. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next lesson.